Hello, girls and boys. Welcome to Storytime Fun. We hope you enjoy it. Today's story is out of the 5-Minute Bible Stories book. And today's story is called Adam and Eve, adapted by Laura Kalkman. In the beginning, God created the heavens and the earth. Then he created trees and flowers and plants. He created birds and fish and animals. Then God created Adam, the first man. God wanted Adam to be happy, so he created a glorious garden where Adam could live. It was called the Garden of Eden. God filled the garden with everything Adam could ever want or need. The Garden of Eden was the most beautiful place on earth. It was filled with tall trees that provided shade and bright flowers that made the garden smell lovely. It was filled with clear brooks where fish swam. When Adam was thirsty, he could cup his hands and drink the cool water. The garden also was filled with all sorts of plants and delicious foods for Adam to eat. Adam was very pleased with his home. One day, God brought all of the creatures of the earth to the garden so Adam could name them. There were tigers and monkeys, birds and butterflies. There were so many magnificent animals, and Adam happily named each one. Adam enjoyed his lovely home and all of his animal friends. Still, God could see that Adam was lonely. God decided to make a partner for Adam. One day, when Adam was asleep, God performed a miracle. He took one rib from Adam's chest, and with it, he created a woman. The woman's name was Eve. Adam loved Eve very much. Eve was Adam's friend and his helper. Adam and Eve were married in the lovely Garden of Eden. Adam and Eve enjoyed living in the garden. God saw that Adam and Eve were very happy, which pleased him. In exchange for all he gave them, God expected the couple to follow just one simple rule. You may eat from any tree in the garden except the tree of the knowledge of good and evil, God said. Adam and Eve did not question God. They were grateful to God, and they wanted to obey God's command. Adam and Eve wanted nothing more than to live happily in the beautiful garden forever. One day, Adam and Eve walked by the tree of the knowledge of good and evil. Eve noticed the big red apples dangling from its branches. The apples looked delicious. But Eve remembered God's command not to eat from that tree. Just then, a long green snake slithered along a branch toward Eve. The snake wanted to tempt Eve into disobeying God's rule. Eve, the sly snake hissed, why don't you pick some apples from this tree? They are bigger and sweeter than any others, I promise you. Oh, no, Eve replied. God told us not to eat from this tree. But if you eat these apples, you will become as smart as God, the snake said. Eve wanted to be very smart. She picked 2 apples from the forbidden tree. She took a bite from one apple and gave the other to Adam. He also took a bite from the apple, though he knew he should not. God went to the garden. Adam and Eve tried to hide from him. Adam and Eve hid because they were ashamed that they had disobeyed God. God then realized that they had eaten from the forbidden tree. God was not angry, but he was very sad. God had no choice but to punish Adam and Eve and the snake for breaking his rule. He forced the snake to slither on the ground forever. He made the snake an enemy to men and women. The snake will now be able to bite and poison people, God said, and people will now step on the snake. Then God told Adam and Eve they would have to leave. He said, "Now you will have to plant your own garden and grow your own food. You will have to work hard to build a new home to protect yourselves from the rain and the cold." God gave Adam and Eve clothing made from animal skins. Then he sent them away from the Garden of Eden forever. God watched in sorrow as Adam and Eve walked away. He knew that Adam and Eve would grow tired from cutting and hauling wood to build their home. He knew they would be hungry when there was not enough rain to make their garden grow. This made God sad, for even though Adam and Eve had disobeyed him, God still loved them. Once Adam and Eve had gone, God asked some angels in heaven to guard his precious garden. The angels were happy to serve God, and they flew to earth to protect the Garden of Eden. Because Adam and Eve had broken God's rule, sadly, they were never able to return to the garden again. That's it for today. We'll see you next time.